following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1. It's only fitting we end the round in Automotive April with two of the guys in the racing community. But it was a little bit different tune for JT. His engine wasn't revving in March. In fact, he couldn't even find first or second gear. A tough outing after a long late night API outage delayed him. He said out in his post-game quote that said March, a little more rest was needed. After taking a little bit of a backseat commentator role and understanding play styles, he's back tonight, looking to get back on the track and show why he was a Super League finalist in 2024. And for Ed Ziemba, it's a different story. It was a little bit losing. It was more of a lost losing end, a lost file per se. Couldn't get the rhythm, couldn't get the switches down. It took a hard L to Andy. But now he's back better than ever, looking to take care of business against his old pal JT. Hello everybody and welcome to the Spider Region, the final stream game of the round. We'll talk about why it is the final stream game of the round and what's happened today, because this whole tournament has been chalk for the most part. Well, not today it wasn't. We started it off with a more true toss-up game, though. A lot of people had said Bad Brad in background, who played a massively long 48-minute game, too. A top, I think, 6 game or top 5 game in league history for individual longest game. Made the board almost 80 minutes. A tough start for Brad to the year, 0-2 on the year. However, many big names are 0-2 or 1-2. Don't be alarmed if Brad makes a run come T3. For background, though, big win, keeps the rookie class alive. It's between him and Gon. Background Caesar, Gon Leah, the only two rookies remaining in the field. We are done with that class. In more of a controversial win today, Radden takes care of business after showing up massively late. But hey, he had the hands. He got the job done. That's all you can really say for him. He figured it out. And crazily enough, one of these guys will get him next round. We'll see if we see a rematch or something new. For Radden, he moves on. Yoshi will also have the same. T3 looking to make a bounce back. One of the more shocking results today, of course. Hard to believe Bowtie was making his 100th career start, and he got absolutely torched. I have no words on that. Crazy to say, but he got torched, and for Bowtie, he'll have to look for a rebound. Later, who found a way and comes out of nowhere to play Clay now in that Diablo Region 5-13 game. We'll see the 4-13 here. In the last two games, Logan Dark was supposed to be at 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, I had something going on that came out of nowhere. Even if we had never had this, I was still planning on streaming, but due to some circumstances, that's now moved off streams. Chomik Rogers was supposed to be at 9 o'clock. Rogers had something going on. I believe his buddy had a kid, so congratulations to them. Congratulations to AR with his buddy. So we'll have that game at 10:30. That's how crazy this day has been, but let's go into this match as we do have a 6-pack on track. Halfway through, let's begin Game 4. JT versus Ed. Neither are ranked, 25th and 34th from last year. JT coming in with the silver medal, of course, from Super League, the runner-up. The Mustang cards, but we're in the Spider region. Well, how did we get here in the pod? And, well, as quickly as I say, like I said, Radden gets the job done over Yoshi in one of the craziest games of all time on a finish. We've seen 4 straight wilds. Retro Seth, but Seth with his 2 own green wild cards will now take on the red wild of Ashley. Of course, Ashley moving on. Mainly due to age, his schedule could not get going. It was difficult, to say the least, to get his schedule lined up with ours. And we always wish H the best. Of course, it's not his fault. He's got a massive job where it just takes a lot of time away from him. We do hope we can get someone at least feasible the next round so he can play somebody within his night owl time zone or just in his time zone in general. We'll figure that out. Regardless, we wish Ace the best. Ashley moves on. She'll look for a career win 100 in her first game, potentially against Seth in the 1-9. But who will join Radden into the Tire 32? And for that, we go to the scene, and my man Charles Sanford is down. What is this, Sanford? 1, 2, what is this? Quadruple duty if we had played it straight today. But thank you for coming on board, man. Obviously, your thoughts on this match, and we got Brock here too, who's supposed to be OG, so we'll see if we get 3 minutes. That's no problem. Sam, for your thoughts though on JT versus Ed, both guys 0-1. JT, you've played him a billion times. Ed, you've seen around with the light switching. This was the tournament last year. He was down 3-0 to Pez and found a new light switching technique to get back in the game. You had high hopes for him at the beginning of the year. Someone's got to go 0-2. Crucial game. What are you expecting tonight?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Never want to start off the year 0-2, but like you said, someone's going to have to. I expect for that reason, we're going to see some aggressive play, see some people trying to, see both players kind of trying to get out to that early 1-0 advantage. Turner's going to be, where's the luck at for him? Can he avoid running out of cards, running out of colors, which Ziemba, for that matter, might even end up playing into it a little bit with that light switching if he keeps that up. So, could be a back and forth type of game. Like I said, probably this is what should have been my third match covering today, whether through ref or commentator duty. But yeah, Radden, nice, and yeah,
just natural.
Still gonna end up with 3, I think, because I still get the Logan Dark after this one. So, gonna try and save my voice. But at the same time also make sure I'm attentive for all things going on.
Yeah, it's been a crazy day for sure. Let's go to Brock. Brock, obviously, you're supposed to be the OG. I appreciate you coming in. I'll still keep Sanford. We'll go 3-man booth. Brock, your thoughts on both players? Obviously, you've had the privilege to play. I'm pretty sure you've actually played JT, and I'm pretty sure Ed has called every one of your games, ironically, when he can. So what's your thoughts on both players? JT, we know, has that new counter-aggression where he knows how to play the patient game, but also knows when to be aggressive. And then, of course, Ed, the light switch king, one of the light switch kings in the league. Your thoughts on what we're going to see here tonight? Go for it.
For what I'm going to see, I imagine it's going to be fast-paced. Maybe kind of crisscross, like maybe conservative, maybe more aggressive. I think it's going to be an all-out, knockout, drag-out fight.
12-round fight. I got you. A little boxing in there. I got you. We'll go over to my man, JT, to start us. So I know both usually speak, so it doesn't matter. We'll start with JT. Home seed. Jay, obviously not what you needed, my friend, in March Madness. You made the Final Four there last year. This tournament a year ago was okay. Not your friend, really, but you had a good March where you could really lean on that good record to start the year. 5 wins to start. I believe you started the year 5-2. You're trying to at least get back to 1-1 here after a tough March. What did you learn your time off, man? Doing a little backseat commentary, and also what have you learned from your play style? You can try to throw Ed off tonight, considering it has been a layoff in about 40 days here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's I mean, it's a good thing for me to have that extra rest. But of course, I would have wanted to, not fall victim in the round of 1 to, what was it, Leah, I think, in the first round?
Yes. It was the API game. Yep.
But I mean, totally different circumstances. I wasn't, feeling all too hot, and that game was, going like 9:30, 10 o'clock. It was getting later and later. So yeah, just I was trying to swim upstream like the whole time. But now I'm healthy. I'm feeling good tonight, and I've gotten to explore, a few other games, during the March tournament and also this tournament too, commentating. That was a good chance to, take a look around, take a look at, some of the other players that have been participating, just kind of learning and seeing and observing what they do and where they're strong, where they're weak. So, yeah, there's definitely some inspiration that I've taken, from my fellow competitors. I mean, it's a good thing to do. You got to, be observative. You got to, really be aware of who you're playing, because you might be playing them one day. So yeah, it's real good to do it here tonight. Glad to play a good OG NR guy like Edward Ziemba. So hopefully the fans like this one. It'll be a nice showdown of the Windy City versus the City of Good Neighbors. So should be good.
Absolutely. We'll go to Ed. Ed, well, we're going to try to blow some gusts in here, man. Tough, very tough March. At least JT got to a game, said you got torched in 5. But you've also said you learned, you studied the tape, you made some adjustments. What did you learn in that break that's going to help you succeed tonight, my friend?
I think I've learned to be patient. I've learned to take a different perspective on the game. I won't give away my strategy, but
of course,
I'm feeling good about tonight. Hey, this is Automotive April. Got the engine running, firing on all cylinders. I'm ready to go.
All right, it's ready to go. Yeah, this is going to be a barn burner, I think. Brock might be on to something here, Stanford. You got them both guys juiced. You don't want to fall 0-2. And even if you do, I know it's early, but there's always that extra pressure when you're 1-1 versus 0-2 or 1-2 even. So we'll see how this one goes. Winner moves on and gets Radden. Will we see a rematch of JT Radden, or does Ed get to play him for the first time? Let's begin. And with that, we're going to go to JT for game 1. Yoshi's our ref. 2-2-1-1-1. That's the winning lottery numbers, the best of 7, 1 power play. Jesse Turner. Those most famous words in Uno, my friend. How many cards?
Why don't we start off with 8, my man?
All right, let's do crazy 8. JT in the building, looking to get one back here after a tough March. And we started off with the 8 skip. Too bad we didn't see H. Sanford, but going back to this game, we know JT likes that mid-tier package, and he starts it off quick right here.
Yeah, he does. We'll see if that red skip comes up again as a starting card. We saw that in our other stream where the first 2 games we start off the same card. Cherry Zero Sugar Red, though.
Yeah, we will get the scoreboard up, so make sure. Hold on.
Whoops.
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. Thank you for that DM. Appreciate it.
Doesn't matter. I was clicked out of it by accident anyway if I had started.
Appreciate that. It was Caesar. I appreciate that. Regardless. Now I'll wait for Ed here. Obviously, you look at this game, Brock, from 2 sides. You talk about the fade. We know you're the master of this. Do you think Ed's thinking about that fade turn 1 right here?
It's possible. I mean, if he's got the right number of, if he's got a right variety of cards, then yeah, he certainly could do it.
Well, right now he'll keep it clean as we go half off and Tapir. We'll see Tapir Sanford next round. Sanford probably looking for revenge, of course. Tapir looking to keep the 3-peat on Sanford.
Yeah, looking like that's going to be a midweek series.
Midweek, yeah. We are working on the schedule, of course. Some things happen, so we have to make sure we get that on top. JC is working on that. In fact, as we're playing this game, he's already working on it. God bless him. Here comes Ed. What's that?
I said that's why I was already saying that one.
Yeah, it's okay. You can really say your time if you need. All right, so Brock, this is interesting. Both guys playing the red. You wonder when the switch will happen, but here comes Jesse Turner. Here we go, Sanford. This is a JT special. Oh, boy.
Down to 3.
Lowers the hammer early. Now Ed with a chance. God, thank you, Sanford. That red crossback is what Ed's looking at. JT throws the hammer. Let's see if he's got the crisscross, as Brock was saying. Now, Ed loading up. 6 freshies in the back. He's looking really, really intensely here, trying to get a move.
Yeah, red 6 wouldn't be the worst play, I think, here if he's got it.
JT.
I'm not saying that just because that's my card.
Of course not, right? Just a little PR statement.
Right.
Okay, that works. So JT out, and Ed will go to the red. Now the question becomes, it's a KT Classic. Wow. Ed pulls it out. There's the emoji. Here comes.
I've used that emoji a lot today.
Brad. Oh, hold on. That's a classic.
That's a +4.
A JT Classic. A top decker. Here he comes. Double play. Looking for check. That's it. That's a JT style win if I've never seen one. That's it right there. Unbelievable. JT, I guess Sanford and I know this one. The old massage is working there, man. A little top deck magic and your classic to get the win. Thoughts on that?
Okay, yeah. I mean, when Ziemba played that red Ashley Wild, I mean, I didn't fret too much. I mean, I thought at least if I could, send him back with that +6, like I could have a little bit of breathing room. He can, do what he needs to do, and hopefully I can get a top deck. But yeah, like I got that secondary blue reverse, and I had the +4 in the back pocket, so I could just, connect all the dots and get a quick win here.
Felt
pretty good.
The right part of the top deck, but still got that top deck.
So it's JT. I mean, Jay, your thoughts on playing a little loose there with the double +2? You just felt confident? You just felt confident sending them back and hoping he had nothing?
Yeah, that was my plan, just to set him back some, and I can make that connection with a top deck, and thankfully that happened with that reverse. I had the wild +4 with me the entire time. I just needed that second reverse to make that connection at the end.
I got you. I appreciate that, Jay. We'll go over to Ed. I'm gonna have to assume 0 off that +6. Just nothing on the hand right there.
Well, I had a +4, but I was like, I don't really feel the need to use it, but
right.
I was maybe I should have.
That's hindsight, man. And Sanford, thank you for your thought. I really don't have much for you. You really couldn't really do much there. I mean, you can't really ask much questions to Sanford because that's a classic JT win. Just top decked what he needed and got the job done. Really nothing to say other than plan A for him. Would you say so yourself?
Yeah, not much you really can do there if you're Ziemba. I mean, maybe you play it, but at the same time, early on, not really all that worried. I think if you're Ziemba and you kind of got outlucked, but we'll have to see. Obviously, not ideal, but they like to say that you're never really truly out of it until you lose at home. So Ziemba didn't lose at home, so he's not out of it.
No, he's not out of it for sure. And I think Brock really can't go much to you because we didn't see any fades, really didn't see much action. So we'll see how game 2 goes. More of a feeler as Ed, 11 cards drawn versus Turner's 1, and self-draws are 1-1. As Ed at the free throw line there looking for something in the back end. I think he was at a Bucks game. All right, let's go to JT again. JT, my man, no 8, free choice, everything else. What we got?
How about we do 9?
We've heard that one a time or two. Here we go. JT special, 9 cards, and oh my. How about that double skip to start the games? We got Lara and H. There we go.
Not quite what we had before. Before we literally had the same exact card back-to-back games, but
here comes JT. Let's see. He's been aggressive here early. Let's see if he continues that. Jesse Turner looking to load up here. Looking pretty aggressive. Let's see if he continues it. Really typing here. JT looking for a banker. He's going for it. oh
he
my.
said, you know what? We haven't seen the H skip there. We need to see it.
We need to see. And a gold skip. There's the trifecta. We're just missing the mid skip. I think I'm blue. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, JT aggressive, 3 cards, and just like that, we're down to 6. He's already starting to inch closer. Let's see if Ed's got an isolator. Brock, this is maybe where you think about the fade here if you're Ed. You see that triple play? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's already doing the fade right now. Maybe he could have a triple play.
Maybe.
Who knows?
We'll see. Goes for the new color there, Sanford. So opening up Pandora's a little.
Yes, no. Goes for he goes for the green that Turner didn't want to touch.
Let's see if Turner has anything in the back end. So that's a good fade. But it does open up Pandora's potentially, pending if JT faded off that green as well. Here he goes.
I'm going to say he has green. No! Wow.
That's a good move. That's a clean move from JT.
Double 9.
Well, now Ed's going to have to go back to the drawing board. Well, here he goes. Here comes Ed Ziemba trying to...
How's the Dolly Parton?
Yep, there's the old Dolly Parton, 9-5. Here comes Jay Turner. Took that game 1 by storm, and he continues that yellow, what he needs. Here comes Ed now. Let's see if he's got it. This is where it gets tricky if you're both players, man, because
birthday cake.
He's lighting the candles here. Let's see. Ed's lighting the candles.
Big run incoming.
Ed wants the glaze on that cake. Oh, he's going to go to
No.
blue. New color now. That's a new color. That's opening up Pandora's for real this time. So Ed makes... Oh, JT undercut. Back to red.
Well, Devil's Wild. Over to red.
Devil's Wild. Back to the Sanford car from M. And, of course, Steven. Just missing the G6 of Vapor. Here comes Ed. Back to KT Blue. Looking for a classic. You're looking for the classic. Good move here. Oh, Jay fades it off. Wow. This is shocking, Sanford. JT fading it off pretty good here. And every time he has an answer, then he will finally have an
That's
answer.
why he wanted blue.
Great job to stop that when you got to make the move.
Clear
Have
the
to make
lead
the
now.
move. Yep. And he goes into his
How's it
own
on the
car.
blueberries just 0?
But where's your sir? www.drinkmorenergy.com. Question becomes: has JT got some magic off that front too? No, and now
No.
Ed can run into his own car, as we just said.
We got Leah in the chat. Leah,
Yeah,
definitely wanting a Turner win to help improve that resume.
absolutely. And now Ed continuing to run. Here comes JT. Does he have any magic on the top deck? We talk about Jesse Turner. He might have it again, but it's going to isolate it.
No.
Well, that's risky.
Reverse into the draw.
Risking that draw. Does Ed save a reverse for the win? Or
No other reverses played yet.
did he save a reverse for the win, or does Ed find a way with a little +4 magic of his own? He's got the check.
Better.
JT, anything on the red, he's going to have a +2 or something. Let's see. Or a regular wild to flush it back. He flushes it back with the yellow.
Well, I mean, do I know Turner or do I know Turner?
We know JT, man. This is a classic move. Now Ed, he's flushed, and now JT
Perfect
can
draw.
run.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a momentum shifter, Sanford.
There's the bell
JT,
tie.
he steals it. Does Ed
Or the
get
tie here of red draws.
a topper? No, tied. Now Jay Ronnie's got the scoreboard flipper down deuce. Here comes Ed.
Imagine playing Monkey for the lead.
Monkey for the lead. Oh, switch! Okay. And Jay's
And
out.
now Turner draws on the Logan.
Great job from Ed with the ISO. Probably top deck, but still, great awareness. Here comes Ed.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. That could have been the final card he had.
Could have been two. Yep. Now does Jay have a... Nope. Ed for the win to tie it up. No.
No.
So we're going to...
So either the 3 or the 8 was the final card.
Little JT dry right there, I would say, Sanford. A little ISO into a JT dry, for sure.
I don't think it's a problem, though, if you're Ed, though.
No.
Got a 3-card lead. Can afford to draw a little bit here.
You're just looking for a top decker. That's really what you want here. Here comes Ed.
Well, you want a top deck that gets you where you're needing to go.
Here he comes low.
Otherwise, you're just kind of spinning the wheels.
Of course, you don't want to spin the wheels here in Automotive April. Try to get out of that first, second gear, get out of the ice. Here comes Ed loading up, though. Well, there it is. That's game. JT's got to call that one fair play.
Off the pier.
Yep, the old Tapir Classic, and we're tied at 1, and that's now evened it up. Let's go over to JT there. Jay, so close, but yet so far. You made the break on the yellow wild, had momentum. You got beat to the punch, but other than that, man, you really weren't able to play this number efficiency cleaner. You were aggressive off the start. Talk to me about the aggression off the start. Ultimately not being able to finish it off, though, despite a really valiant effort on the yellow wild.
I honestly don't really think what I could have done differently. I think I managed that game pretty well. Like Ed, he originally did that Ashley red wild, and then I countered back with the Lamas yellow wilds to keep myself alive. But like that was my only wild I had the entire game. So I knew if I didn't play it then, my chances were going to be over sooner. So that's kind of like the alternative move that I ended up going with. But just wilds didn't really come my way that time.
You did maximize. That's what he said. We'll go to Ed. Appreciate that, Jay. Ed, obviously wasn't looking good early, but then you found a little bit of rhythm. Where did you find the rhythm, man? Was that off the potential draw city, or did you have a blue +2 off the kilter and you just wanted to save some of that ammo? You had 2 wilds there. Despite getting burned, you were able to get the top deck +4. Talk to me about how you were able to just get to Uno and play a little toaster guy strat, check it to JT, and also be wary of his wild saves.
Yeah, right off the bat, I noticed that he switched off the green right away. So really my goal throughout was just to get him away from the colors that he didn't have so I can create some runs. And at one point I could have used a power play to win it, but I don't know. I heard a voice that said, don't use it. And I was like, oh, shoot, all right. So I didn't. And there you go. Top deck kind of worked out for me there, and that's a win.
Hey, I mean, I appreciate those thoughts, Sanford. Ed calling from the great beyond on that one, hearing a voice from another dimension. Thoughts on that?
You know, every once in a while there's that little voice that instinct is telling you whether or not it's the right time for something. Let's see. Ed definitely it worked out for him. He got the win still, regardless, so he still saves that power play. Didn't end up costing him a win on not using it. And we've seen players, it's worked both ways, you got the lucky numbers on there too?
Yeah, okay. Your mentality is a little practical and analytical. 3, 6, 10, 18, 24, 40. Someone, there you go. Buy yourself a ticket.
Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, instincts is a big part of this, especially when it comes to the power play. So I think Ed was in the right to definitely not use it here. Let's see where it ends up becoming the spot to use that power play, though, later on.
Brock, your thoughts on these? Appreciate that. Your thoughts on these early two games? We saw Ed get one here off a little top deck. JT got a little magic. You think it's been pretty fair in terms of their top decks? And we know you're a fade master. How do you think these guys have been both fading this game? They both have had a couple, but not a lot to say.
Well, I guess being able to use the fade in their own rights, it's definitely what made this game so back and forth, despite only being 2 games. So, it's pretty interesting.
It is interesting, Brock, and we'll waste no time. Thank you, Ed, for that. We'll go into 12. Here we go. Ed's at home. 12 cards. Yoshi about to send us in. Of course, if you're just joining us late, this is game 4 of 6 on the day. This is the last stream game. We couldn't get everything. We only had 2 stream games. We were supposed to have, I believe, 4, but we just couldn't get the other 2. Red 5 and a DJ. Other one was Bo Issue. The other one I called off late at night. Now you think Sanford right here, and kind of think in this moment, you look at Ed. Now he's at home. JT's been aggressive off the start. Ed's going to slow it down, right? You can see taking that time, trying to get into JT's head with the mentality of just playing that slow Uno.
Well, that, and now he's taken off some of that pressure. He's gone one on the road. Now, if he can take care of the business at home for the 3 games, he wins the series, doesn't even have to go to game 7. Look at that thinking in there.
You can see he's thinking. He is cranium cap thinking deep in this one. Got the watch and everything. Time is on Ed's side tonight, as they say. Oh my. A little bit of potential fade right there of his own. Just draw it back, may not have the hand.
There for what I can do in any of my games.
Yeah, it appears next, so we'll see that one. Sanford's appear will be streamed. We'll spoiler, of course. JT with the little Blues Clues.
Yes.
There we go.
There we go. That brings it back.
That's good memories, man. That is good memories. That is good stuff right there. That is good stuff. All right, well, here we go. Let's see how Jay does. Absolutely. Let's see if Jay's got a little fade over to blue. We'll find. That'd be something, right?
Well, you mean, sorry, I didn't even notice that Ziemba drew. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ziemba drew.
Yes,
Now
bails him out.
Yeah, bailing him out into this thing 5. You know what? I don't mind that from beater player. Maybe, Eddie's a guy that maybe you don't have the hand, you start building it, right? And if you're Jay, you push the pace. And here we go. Looking for the tie. Jay still has the possession arrow. It's just a double. Loading up right here. Here comes Ed Ziemba looking for the tie. Taking his time. And he will get it. So now we're tied just like that. JT will refire on the... Oh, my goodness.
Back to red.
JT.
Turner with the light switching now.
Yeah, that's a calculated one for sure. Because you got to think, Brock, you got to like that because Ed didn't show the red. Now's the time to flush it out of him. Yep.
Okay.
Brock, your thoughts real quick. I'm going to go to you here real quick. Talk to me about a difference between early first turn fade and what JT's doing every other turn here.
I guess it's really. I mean, like I mentioned earlier. I mean, if you got a multitude of different numbers and different colors, you certainly have a big advantage when it comes to using the fade.
Well, right now the fade's looking good because here comes Ed as he's going to go for his double play potentially. I like the fade from Jay, and for Ed, he's been able to just vibe into whatever here, Sanford, for sure.
Yeah, kind of vibing. He's got another double play there.
Oh.
Right into a Turner +2, though.
Yeah, classic. JT with the classic double left hook. Clay into Peter.
Look how close he got him.
Yep. Now JT back in the lead here. Ed has all the hard work to do again as he's down with the 7-10 split on the scoreboard. Let's see.
Worst spot to be though.
Yeah. That's pretty tough right there. No bowling terms. Let's see if you got to go for the fade again in the yellow. Fade it off.
Goes for the 7.
See if Jay's got any more yellow. Did he have any more left in the tank? Oh, so that was his next move.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, it might have been the next move.
There you are, Brock. There's your card.
Of course, that also could mean that Turner's out of blue, but time will tell.
Time could tell. We'll find out. JT's did a good job fading it tonight as well. And they'll go to the yellow deuce here. Here comes Jay. Now we're going small straight.
One up this time again.
Yeah, small straight action. We're going from
One more for small straight.
Yep, the old Brock into Bo into Monkey. Hard to believe Bo and Monkey were part of sweeps, and results may have not been the same. Here's the red now. There's the green.
Yeah, the red and 3 that threw me off a little bit earlier because I didn't realize that had been changed from the Iranian flag.
Yeah, Rad changed his card in the offseason, of course, to that stare right there, similar to Cap. Now here comes Ed, and there's your Pez. 3 up, 4 up this time, and now Ed's starting to see momentum, but Jay with the fade. There it is, back to red. He's been
let Ziemba get the lead there if he was able to.
Of course, yeah, and it's all about control here, bro. We talked about it in your game against Jenna when you lost. It's about the
Ziemba like?
Ziemba like that? Ziemba might like that. We'll see. He likes it.
Oh, Ziemba loves it.
Ziemba likes that. Okay, and Jay does not. Oh boy,
that was a perfect play because Turner was already drawing on the green, so.
Ed likes
takes the lead now.
JT not liking it a little, but here comes Ed. Question becomes now, though, Sanford. Can Jay fade it back to that red 6? Let's see. Or some type of move. Or a top decker.
Well,
he's got the top deck. Oh, there it is. The fade back to red. Yep, great move from Jay. And now it's a game of cat and mouse for Bull. Let's see if Ed's got anything. Or does he want to draw here and maybe do a little top deck magic? We'll see. Jay's been popular with that tonight. Let's see who copies that.
Turner's definitely not one to have split ammo usually, so I would, if I'm Ziemba, I'm probably feeling safe about the idea that he doesn't have 3-card run. But yeah, he might. I still don't know if I'd be willing to draw here if he's able to play something. Hey, there's the red 6.
There's Sanford. Yeah, Jesse Turner goes for the red 6, and for Ed, he'll have the hard work to do again and think about it. He'll have to go back to that first turn thinking for sure.
Yeah, gonna try and avoid getting Turner to Uno here if he can.
JT doing a great job tonight, Ed as well, on both strategies and fading and knowing when to go. +4.
Oh boy.
Here comes Ed looking for the double. Or does he have a triple to finish?
Check.
Yeah, it's got to be either a check or it's a game. Let's see. Ed looking for the game. No, not game. No, just a double. But you know what? Good move, Sanford. You never know.
What the play was.
Yeah, because JT could have had something.
The play was just something Turner would have drawn and then could have played the yellow 8.
Nothing for Jay, though. Let's see if Ed's got anything for the finish.
That's interesting because then that could have been Turner's next play, too.
Let's see if that was Turner's next play. Here comes Ed for the win. It is with the KT Wild.
On the flex.
Wow. And now it's Ed back into control 2-1. Let's go to Jesse turn Jay. Seemed like that game you were getting close. You were definitely switching a lot. Was that switching cohesive in the sense that you just didn't have the hand and you wanted to get Ed off his game, or you really wanted to switch just to get Ed confused because you know he hasn't been drawing much tonight? Talk to me through it.
Yeah. I mean, the multiple switches there. I mean, I wanted to save like potential, fades and number switches, number efficiency fades for later. So I was like trying to just, run with whatever I could calmly, but still didn't get any wilds though. Unfortunately, I mean, I had a couple, skips and a reverse, and but yeah, just not really. Action cards ain't coming my way again, but yeah, I think it's. I mean, Eddie's doing a real fantastic job just to get him where he needs to be. I was tempted to use that power play when he threw that +4 at me to get to a 2, but then I thought, no, it's best that I save it for any of these next games.
I got you. You just gotta save it. We'll go over to Ed. Appreciate that, Jay. Yeah, I think this game was more about that patience theory, right? Take your time on these couple turns, let Turner cook the fades. First thing I have to add, what was that draw off that initial get-go? What'd you get off that? Interesting.
Yeah, so I only had one red off the bat, and I was like, I kind of want to fade this for later, so maybe I can get a second red to use later, but that didn't happen.
I got you there, so it was more just a calculated play. I think the turning point in this game, and I have to say, was probably that +2 where Jay got you on the blue +2, and then you were able to fade it off in that green 7. What was the theory behind saving the green to the end? Because you really faded off the red, and you forced JT into that red and baited him a second.
Yeah, honestly, looking back at it, sorry, I'm trying to remember. Reanalyzing.
Gotcha, man. Take your time.
We hadn't seen a lot of green, so I was like, okay, maybe that might be his weaker color because he's kind of playing more of the other colors. So I was like, let's go into green.
Sure.
So I guess something like that.
Okay, so more of an instinctual play and trying to get him off kilter. Is that how it sounds like?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I got you. No problem. All right, Sanford, I got to ask here now. JT down. He's been here before. Neither player really hasn't had much crazy, I'd say, runs. There's been one or two, but it hasn't been a crazy split ammo game. It's been more calculated and preserved. Where do you think the lines have been drawn in these 3 games? Because Jay had that top decker. I had the top decker. This one was more about the fades, as we've been talking about. But you look at the scoreboard, JT's had 7 reverses and skips combined versus 2 for Ed. He's had all the ammo other than the +4s and watts. How does JT try to win with his reverse skip +2 meta versus Ed getting all the +4s and wilds? Thoughts on that?
I mean, my main thought when I'm looking at this right now is I'm going to the idea like, well, maybe another Chinese product, Chinese.
You are the most of every situation. There you go.
So the thing I'm seeing when I'm looking at this is we've had 3 games and each game's gone longer than the last. For Turner, right now, it looks like the plan A is the spot where he's at. And it might be that he needs to try and get these early wins because Ziemba, if it's going longer and gets away from the plan A, seems to usually have the measure on him. So, but that's easier said than done. So
it's always harder when you think about this Brock playing from behind. How do you think JT gets back in the game from behind, and how does Ed keep the throttle on the gas, keep the throttle going down? Excuse me.
I guess to answer both questions, I mean, they probably be a little bit more aggressive.
A little more aggression, says Brock. We'll see if that aggression is turned up to 11. Ed, your call here. What do we got, my friend? No 12, no 9. We'll go 10. All right. 2 down this time, keeping it to that mid-tier, slightly upper tier on the starts. Yoshi puts us in. Sting 5, we'll see if this is his last game before he's got a jet, or we can get another one squeezed in. We'll find out. Quick set so far, Sanford, compared to, unfortunately, you had that crazy game with Brad in background where that took a long time. This has been a quicker so far, for sure.
it has been, but that's also a little bit more of a saving grace. I'll be honest, trying to find stuff to talk about sometimes in those longer marathon ones is difficult. By the way, you were mentioning that one earlier. the third longest D1 game ever what we had.
Yes.
It was just under 49 minutes. So I'm pretty sure it beat out me versus Jonah for that third spot.
And there's Nick. There we go. There's the driver change.
Oh, okay.
There we go. The classic driver changes in. Yoshi can. There's Ed. He likes it. Yeah, let's see if he can do the old sub. Yeah, Yoshi, if you got to go, man, a couple minutes. We got Nick right here on standby. He's in the pits, just waiting for you. Bring her in. All right. We'll do that. We'll do a fun little segment when you get to 8:00. I'll use a little creativity if we can. Give me 10 minutes. Stay here 10 minutes. Just appreciate that.
Yellow goes one down.
All right. So now we'll keep it clean here. Now I think right here you gotta think, in my opinion, Sanford and Brock, when you see these early keeping it clean on the colors, I think it's just the risk of the lower cards. Right? There's not as many cards you had to work with 10. Sometimes it can be mid-tier, and you just want to respect both players in the sense that the finish could be on another color. Don't think we're going to see anything crazy right here. They're just going to play this until JT wants to set it up.
Yeah.
Oh, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that number combo.
No, that monkey would have a field day. But we'll keep it rolling here. Got Yoshi here. Don't want to thank him. We'll get him out of here in 10 minutes. We'll do the driver change. Ref change. Ed goes with the fade into Nick. There we go. Perfect timing. There we go. And now JT.
9.
Yep, trips 9 into the fade to Allen. So we go from Acosta to Nick to Allen. That's a trip 9. Here comes Ed. Let's see what he's got in the reds. Earlier he didn't have any. He drew. Let's see.
You mean last game?
Oh yeah, last game. Excuse me. Yes.
That's the first time we've seen red in this game.
Yeah, it's been a long day. Let's see how Ed reacts to this one though. He was off the first turn in the last game. Taking a little stance here, taking that patience game as we always talk about with Ed Ziemba.
Well, sometimes the bot. Well, I was getting ready to say sometimes the bot seems to.
Well.
Like not giving a player the same color over and over again, and wow.
So Jay goes back with them, but this could be a case of maybe banking on one here. Well, that's why you bank on one, I guess. Here comes Ed.
Did he top deck the red reverse, or did he top deck what he's getting ready to switch to?
Maybe, yeah. I gotta ask him that one. Write that one in the back. Write that one down. Write that down. All right, here comes Ed into Yoshi and into Drip. Triple play. This should free up both. Oh, JT!
3-0, so because 0 sugar swap.
0 sugar swap into the green, opening up Pandora's. Here comes Ed. Ed down to 5, looking for 4. He's got the +2. And it's Caesar. And double play. It's close. It goes with the Vaporson out. JT, you got to think the aggression's going to be turned up, Brock, right here. I think JT's had enough of these games here, and if he's going to use it, he's going to use it. I think you might be on something with that. Ed's definitely pouring it on right now early. Here comes Ed, though, on this double play off the green. Does he have any more?
And if he does Turner decide to use power?
Power play! Okay. Ed goes for the power play, looking for the 3-1.
As if he was reading my mind, talking about Turner potentially using the power play.
Oh, boy. This might be split. It is split ammo. Yeah, this will be a split ammo fish. Ed just got to make sure he gets it right. Yep, that's going to be it. So he's going to take the risk and go for the win with the power play. Here we go.
I don't mind it.
Turner,
he power played you.
You good, man? We've seen that one or two.
Thank goodness. There it is.
Okay. Well, let's go to Ed. Let's go to the man of the year. Ed, you made the break on the it's your good, man. You made the break on the +4 there. You had a pretty good read on the power play in the sense that you had a play. You used a little split ammo. Was that a monster hand off that top decker to help you enable that? That was crazy.
Yeah, I had the wilds and the red reverse initially, and the yellow reverse. The only things I got off the top deck were just like normal cards, but
Okay.
I was able to kind of connect it better with the. I mean, JT kind of messed me up when he switched from what was it to red or something.
Yeah.
That kind of messed up my mojo a little bit, but then the top deck kind of helped me get right back into it.
All right, we'll go over to JJ. Tough loss there, but the good news is you flushed the power play. What wasn't working that game? Was it just too much numbers? Were you able to cook? Or was it a case of you just couldn't find any ammo off of what he gave you on that +2 and you just got into a color war where you're just not used to it? Talk to me through it.
Honestly, no. I faded into the reds because like I only had one blue and then the one red. So like I wanted to save myself yellows and greens only. But like no wilds at all showed up for me again. Like I only got a skip and a reverse in the yellow, and I didn't want to waste those, too quickly. So I thought I'd play them greens, but then he was able to snag me with a power play. But no, it just didn't really have much to contend with again.
Nothing I can tell. I got you, Jay. All right, let's call Yoshi into the pits. Yoshi, this is the boss coming to the pits right here. Nick, driver change. Appreciate that. So we got Yoshi's going to come to the pits. Nick with the driver change, and we'll get the refs all swapped out. Thank you, buddy. Pit road exit, we're clear. Drop the dolly. All right, we'll go to Sanford now. Had to do a little fun there for the boys, but Sanford, this is crazy. JT, we know he can come back at this. He's got the power play advantage. He's lost 3 straight, but the one thing he's got going for him is he's at home this game, and we know JT. When he gets these cards right, he can get it back in the game. How does he try to swap momentum, though? Because clearly, despite the power play where Ed used, he's been a little bit on the back foot tonight, other than that game 1.
Well, to be fair, actually, we always like to talk about with the power play. Was it the right time to use it or not? And Ed even said he had that voice in his head, basically instinctually tell him that wasn't the right time back in game 2. Game 4, right there, that definitely was the right time to use it because Turner helped prove it that had Ziemba not used the power play, Turner had the card that would have stopped him. So Ziemba gets that game win because of the power play. Good time to use it. For Turner, I don't know what you really got to do here because the thing that was working for him isn't easy enough to try and do. I guess maybe an adjustment, try and figure out what you can do to make your plan Bs and Cs go better because Turner right now has been plan A, and that's the only thing he's been able to do. Ziemba's had B, C, and D working for him.
It's been plan B, C, and D working for my man. It's Ziemba. Brock, you talked about it, right? You said it. When's the aggression going to turn up? It's got to be now or never for JT, but how does Ed keep the foot on the gas? Maybe with the plan B, C, and D working, but when JT eventually gets to them, how does he keep the foot on the gas as he shares a little bit of the blinding lights coming right at us here at the nighttime? Thoughts on that?
Well, I guess just keep the aggression he's had going.
Okay, keeping it simple. Thank you, Brock. Appreciate that. We'll go over to Game 5 now. Nick is the ref, and now it's JT's turn. Jay, everything's free but 8 again, just like we did on the Game 1 call. What do we got?
How about a classic 7?
Oh, gonna lower it to the classic. Jay looking for some ammo, and we started off with the car of Acosta. Sam, for your thoughts on this move, you're one of those card start experts as JT fires off quick. One thing that's been working here tonight, you got to think, Sanford, is Edwards Ziemba off the start. Not hustling, just taking that draw early and making a smaller break. Your thoughts on that? It's been working tonight for Ed, taking that 1 step back, 2 steps forward.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I don't mind this play. Just because I mentioned it has been a plan A, those lower card starts sometimes can lend themselves a little bit better to a plan A, or at least having both players have to draw.
JT on run early, looking really good here now with the double play. Here comes Ed. Here comes Ed looking to match. Ed, no power play. JT Still has the power play. Keep that in mind. And he'll match that. There we go. Reminder to the fans at home, as Brock will mute there. JT was the 4th seed coming in. Ed was the 13th seed. If Ed wins this game, he'll be on the road again. If JT wins, we'll take home as we continue the Reds. As JT still up with the lead with possession arrow for now. 3 cards left for him. Let's see what he's got. He'll go into a fade.
Okay, interesting swap.
Into blue. Does Ed have anything? Ed thinking this one through now. JT makes the break. He goes back to red. Ooh. JT, nothing. This might be game. Unless it was a classic. I don't know. We have seen classics before.
Classic.
Nothing. No classic there.
Not classic.
Let's see if JT's got anything. He needs something here. He goes to green. That's a risk and a half. Is that game? Ed for the series. He's got the fade. It's over. Wow.
Turner's 0-2. What?
What is going on here in 2025? The guys that finished 2nd and 3rd in Super League are 0-2. What a crazy turn of events. Jay, you gotta feel for yourself on that one. You made the break, and I'm gonna assume just nothing on that number efficiency, or the 7 cards just bitch you in the end. Nothing really you could say there.
No, I suppose maybe a 10 or an 11 card start maybe could have been the better call, but no, I've just them lack of wilds really couldn't really prove well for me, I guess. Really could have did something there, but no, I could never expect him to pull off that number efficiency. I mean, good on him for keeping that. That one last fade in a green I thought was going to help me out, but no, he kept his numbers, and well played, Ed.
We'll go over to Ed. Ed, crazy on the number efficiency tonight. I mean, that's what wasn't working against you against Andy. It was you had talked about, just wasn't working, and tonight you just found it a little bit more on the extra, I guess, layers, and you just got the job done. Talk me through how you were able to use that last game and just playing to control efficiency, because ironically, that red 7 was the deal. You had everything was in red for the most part, or red and blue. You really played 2 color and got the job done. Talk me through it.
Yeah, it was all about being efficient there. We started off yellow. I was like, oh, I don't have that. I'm going to go to red. We went with the red for a bit, and then at some point, it becomes blue. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to use blue. So I went back to red, knowing I had 1 red left. And that same red was had the same number as my blue 8. So then did the red 8 and was able to go to blue.
Ed, your thoughts on playing red in next round? We a lot of people had hyped this region up to be JT Yoshi, but they're gone. Now it's you and red, and you'll be on the road again. Your thoughts on an opportunity here, because it's turned into a wide open spider region now, at least in that middle portion of the bracket.
Yeah, I don't believe I've played Radin, so definitely gonna need to assess the tape a bit, but I'm looking forward to it. JT played well. I had fun. He got me in that first game, but hey, I'm looking forward to playing him again.
Well, we'll go over to Sanford. Sanford, pretty chalk on the bottom, pretty chalk on the top, even the 3 seed. But now we've had 4 straight upsets. We talked about this tournament has been very chalk, pretty white heavy, right? Nothing crazy. The last day has turned up the wick. That's 4 straight upsets. Of course, we know the Dark Logan game, right? The 7-10, it's whatever. But there's one big contender looking at the night, and that's Chomik. Do we see another one? Chomik, obviously, a heavy favorite. We've already seen Cap go down. How does he avoid the upset looking ahead? And tonight, what do you think JT's got to do to battle? We know he's been very lethal in the past. We know T1 was great, but he was pretty lethal in the past in the later part of the season, especially T4 and even T5 to an extent. How does he start building up the momentum to get back? Because we've had some big names fall to 0-2. And your thoughts on Ed and Rad, other than the scheduling antics, what Ed can do to have an opportunity here.
Okay, well, just the first question, because you asked three, actually.
I know.
So, first off, for Chomik, I think it's just play his game. Rogers has had trouble with split ammo in the past. That's Chomik's go-to. So I think as long as Chomik just doesn't overthink things, he's probably set in stone. I will say, in Spider region, we've had 3 of those upsets, so that's going to be interesting looking forward. 12 versus 13 in there, 3 versus 11. I think we usually always end up having that one tournament that usually seems to go chalk. I can't remember which one it was last year, but I know for sure we definitely had like a 2023 tournament went basically chalk. This one went mostly chalk, which isn't the bad thing. Like, when we create these brackets, we're creating them with the intent that the person with the lower seed is supposed to win. So, props to those that have pulled off the upset. I know, for example, I'm going to have to look at making sure to be one of those pulling off the upset next round. So, the fact that there's getting more upsets now, I think, bodes well for those that would be trying to pull off the upset in round 2. It says that there's definitely a chance that's going to be able to happen in this tournament. And what's the third question?
How does JT come back from the 0-2?
Well, he said he was looking at tape. I think he needs to re-examine what tape he was looking at. Because I saw more of the same Turner, and Ziemba was able to capitalize on it. So I think for Turner, it's probably just knowing what to be able to do when that plan A doesn't work. For whatever reason, he's got it when it's against me, but doesn't seem to usually have it when it's against other people when that plan A doesn't work. So, I think that's really where he's got to go. For Ziemba, looking ahead to Radin.
That is going to be something.
I wish you luck. That's going to be interesting. Radin is definitely a character, and that's what he's got going for him. He plays into it, and he definitely preys on those that are a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah, we'll see Rad in a while. Well, Brock muted, but that's okay. Yeah, my takeaways is I think JT's still in it. We've seen history. Look at Toaster Guy. Look at William Brock. These guys started 0-2 or 1-2 last year, and they found themselves in the big tournament. It's not a surprise, in my opinion, to start slow and to start burning, but Tournament 3 will be moving day a little bit for both of the guys, in my humble opinion, especially for JT. And hard to believe there's big names such as Lamas, Bad Brad, ALP, even Ard. Big names starting off slow, but we have seen turnarounds. Just ask William Brock, Toaster Guy, even Lane Sanders last year, who started mercifully. I think it was 1-2 as well.
Toasty started off 0-3.
What was that?
Toasty started off 0-3.
No, he beat you. What was it?
Was it T3? I thought it was T4.
No, it was T3. He beat you T3.
Started off 0-2.
Yeah, because that was the Memorial Day weekend. We're not playing again, thank God. But
that's true.
Thank God. Little break. But let's go into the bracket. That's it for the streams tonight. Of course, the 10's canceled. But the last 2 games we'll talk about, it's going to be JT losing. That means Ed Ziemba now will be on the road. Radin has home. Ashley still runs that region. We saw 3 upsets in the top half, but as I always say, and Sanford and I know, we can never get the 8-9 line right. Don't worry about that line. We can never get that line right. It doesn't matter how many times we try. At least Drip won to save us from a 4-0.
I think part of that's because whoever we end up seeing on the 9 sees that and sees how close they are to getting back into a home field, and that's what they see.
Yeah, they see vengeance. Blood. Yeah, they see blood. And only Drip saved us from the 4-0 for 9s, but we'll see how that one goes. We'll go into the schedule, and, well, like I said, 2 more games are left, and those 2 said games are going to be late, and as we say, after dark. Logan Dark, higher ironic. Dark will get his 100th, unfortunately, will not be celebrating that. We'll get that next time for him. He will look to pull off a small seed upset, 10-7, of course, our toss-ups. But can Chomik just avoid it, right? We talk about can he just not overthink it. Chomik Riders, the final game of the night, 10:30 Eastern. Who knows how late that one's going to go, but for both guys, it's going to be a very, very good way to end it. They know what's at store. If we get Chomik winning, it'll be Chom and G. If not, the rematch of T2, Rogers G. G would be at home. A lot to look forward to. The last 2 games of the night. Well, it's going to end a long and brutal day for some guys today. I want to thank Charles Sanford for covering the 3-pack. JT and Ed for coming out here. I want to give a shout out to Ed for winning the game. I want to thank Nick for reffing. I want to thank Cody Smart for covering some of those posts. Thank you to Gio as well. The whole commission team. William Brock for helping commentate tonight. Been a long day, but thankfully we're going to go in a little week. Yeah, Yoshi as well. Yep, shout out him. We're going to go in a little bit of a 3-day break. We'll start tonight. Kind of going through the last 2 games and sorting it out. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Peter Day tomorrow, a little practice cup, a little bit of an off day on Sunday. And then Monday, a quick preview show. And then we're back at Tuesday with the schedule. Continue to check out the D2 coverage. They got some stuff going on over the weekend. Most of the round should finish up by Monday, Tuesday as well. So check that good stuff out. For all of us here at MRE, it's been a pleasure to cover the round 1s on stream. The suspension 64 may be over on the streams, but 10 more are coming your way in a Tired 32 from April 1st to April 5th. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the last 2 games. We'll let you know those results next stream we go. For Charles Sanford and myself, it's been a pleasure. And thanks to William Brock for also helping cover after show up a little late. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you, as I said, for the last 2 games tonight off stream. And we'll start it up again, re-rack them April 1st for a big Tired 32. Good night, everybody, and stay well. This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.